right? To all of us. It's a very well-known topic to all of us. Plastics everywhere. So what is the situation currently with respect to the global plastic manufacturing, with respect to global plastic waste production, and what industries are doing already, both in India, what are the regulations, and what are the practices, best available practices across the globe, and what can we learn from them, how do we take it forward with respect to making this plastics go circular, right? So circular, when we say circular, we all know that we have to go away from the linear model of taking abstraction, production, consumption, and then disposal. That is a linear model which has been going on in many materials in this world currently. As rightly Professor Korean said, we are more and more dependent on these kind of materials, the abiotic or the non-renewable materials. And we all know that they are non-renewable. And if you continue to use in this linear fashion, we are going to end up in a disaster, right? Because we only have one earth and the resources are limited. Same thing applies to plastic. Plastic, we all know, comes from fossil fuels, in the place where we are getting our petrol and diesel for running the vehicles, right? And how do we ensure that? Next. So this is the scenario of global plastic use. And you can see that it is steadily increasing and it is also accelerating. The rate at which global plastic use, the slope of the curve is increasing steadily, and different parts of the country also, different parts of the world, there are different consumption patterns. But overall, we see that there are steep increases in our consumption patterns for plastic. And some of the numbers are here. So in 9 years, the global plastic consumption doubled, and we are expecting the same in the next 10 years, next decade, and so on. And it's going to reach about 1,231 metric tons. Next, and it is outpacing our economic growth. That is also the fact. Next. Now, when we are using plastics, plastic comes out as waste, the linear pattern of consumption, as I said. And where does all this waste go? It is most often in many, almost all the countries, I would say, it is still mismanaged. When I say mismanaged, what comes to our mind?
Thrown away.
Thrown on the streets. It is thrown on the streets, right? And finally, it goes into our water bodies. Finally, when there is a flood or as a water body goes into the ocean, it goes into the ocean. We are finding it all around us in the wrong places. How do we? These are the percentages, and for different countries, we have different percentage of where you are finding it, and what are the there are some practices which are in place, but you see the percentage wise, it is very small. Okay, so whatever is littered all around us is the orange, and the blue is what goes into the landfill. The purple is what goes into the incinerators, and the green is what goes to recycling. And the percentage recycling is very small. The global average is about 9 to 14%. Different reports with different values. That is all we are recycling. So most of the time we are under the presumption that it's okay to use plastic. It is going, I'm putting it, I'm segregating, my job is done. Dry waste, wet waste, and this goes to recycling. That is the presumption or assumption what we have. And my job ends, I've done my job. So it's okay to buy more and more plastic. It is okay to buy Swiggy, Zomato orders or packaging, Amazon packaging. I'm putting it in the dry waste bin and it goes for recycling, right? So that is the thing we all have in mind. But look at the percentages. Even the best countries are only recycling a very small percentage of the plastic which is going out as waste. They do a better job in burying their waste. Western countries, although they Some reports claim that they manage the waste. Most of the waste goes into landfills. Okay? And that is also not a good option because it is just a linear way of sending it. Okay, and some does incineration. The purple shows incineration, small and large percentage. And of course, Asia, you see a large of incineration, mostly because of China, Japan, those countries incinerate and produce energy from their plastic waste. Whereas India, we are still not there yet. So these are the different ways in which we are managing the waste, and that recycling component is very, very minimal. Okay, mismanaged waste. I want to focus your attention on the orange bars. So orange bars are huge, okay, in the developing countries, India, of course, Africa, huge orange bars. That means they are neither buried in landfills, they are neither going for recycling, but it is just mismanaged, like what we all said, thrown all over, okay, and ending up in the rivers and oceans. Next. So this is another diagram published by OECD reports. So it again gives exactly the split up of what goes where when it comes to plastics, and compare two scenarios: what is currently happening and what are the projections for 2060 scenario. So 3.1 million metric tons of plastics are actually going into the coming out and going for landfilling. 2.7 is the mismanaged plastic floating in rivers, and as the rivers end up in the ocean, it is carried over to the ocean. But there is also a small fragment, 0.35%, buried in the rivers and sediments of rivers, similarly buried in the ocean beds and sediments. And then finally, whatever goes into the ocean, we all know, we have seen horror stories and pictures of what happens to plastics when it goes into the ocean. And they say that by 2060, there will be more plastics in the ocean than fish. That's the prediction. Okay, and yeah, so there is an alarming rate of accumulation of plastic in our water body because of mismanaged plastic. Right? And yes, you know about this. I just wanted to put some numbers. We all know, but we don't know these numbers. So 2050, that's what MacArthur et al. Predicts. And we all know that the plastic is not just a problem for fish, the larger plastics, but microplastics are coming back to us. In human blood, we are seeing microplastics across the placental barrier. Okay, so it is an alarming for a long time they thought, okay, plastics are inert, they're not going to bother us, but microplastics can bother humans. We are seeing more and more evidence of that, and they can also carry with them a lot of micropollutants, which can cause more toxic effects to man. So, along with that, plastics are not just a problem for the environment. We just heard about the carbon emissions. The 2.1 gigatons of CO2 equivalent is going to be emitted 19%. Right now, they are saying it is about 3 to 4% of the global carbon budget, but it is going to go up to 19% by 2040. That is the prediction. And what is the economic impact? Environmental economic impact, it is estimated that 19 billion US dollars is going to the economic cost associated with these marine plastics, that is the impact of it on the marine animals, is the economic value, impact on tourism, impact on fisheries has been quantified as up to 19 billion US dollars. And yeah, more numbers to highlight the problem. I won't be reading all of it now. Next. And who are the poorly performing countries? We saw Africa, we saw in Asia, India, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. They are all popping up as the countries which are to be watched out for these mismanaged plastics. And yeah, so there's a lot of 34.7 tons of plastics are produced in India, 15.8 recycled. This is Terry's report. And so approximately half of it is 1.6 is goes for co-processing in cement kilns. India is doing better in this aspect, but still half of it is actually not accounted for. Again, mismanaged.
Which is the recent report, Professor? What's the date of that report?
Yeah, I think it is a recent report. I can get the number here. Right. What has India been doing about it? Some positive developments have happened recently. Apart from bans, single-use plastic bans, we see it off and on, right? Bans are imposed. Initially, there's a lot of hype about it, and people are very careful of finding people, finding the small producers and shopkeepers. But that is not the right thing to do unless we stop production and cut down the cost of alternatives. There's no point in finding the from small business owners, flower vendors, and vegetable vendors. But that was not going anywhere, and so we saw that it is banned, and then it comes back again. There is the cycle goes on. But recently, yeah.
While you caution the masses, public, the government itself sets a bad precedence. For example, almond milk, lakhs and lakhs of bags of almond milk packets are produced plastic bottle. So, you not IIT Madras did not warn the government not to issue or find an alternate to distribute milk packets in non-plastic materials.
Yes, there are lots of things going on, plans are going on, but there are not suitable alternatives. We had bottles are the best alternative, but again, breakage and all that becomes an issue. So, research is required to find alternatives. Until then, we have to live with these plastics and see how we can make best use of them. That is the whole circular economy model is that. We don't dispose the almond sachets, but can we do something to recycle them and make them into usable products and keep them cycling?
As of now, government standards keep a silent
It's not the hard. See, plastic per se is not so bad. Okay, plastic is good and that's why where we use the plastic is the that is where the circularity is not coming. Now coming to the milk sachet. Okay, the alternative, as she said, as we were doing earlier, glass bottle. Okay, glass versus plastic if you do. From environmental point of view, also plastic is good because taking into account the energy and the but then how do we make it recyclable, recycling? Some part is there with us also. Newspaper, do we throw like very bad? We get newspaper. I think till all Indians keep the newspaper. At the end of the month, we give it. Yes or no? Old paper. Old paper. So, in the same way, the 30 milk bag, do we keep or daily we throw? Okay, why newspaper, why we are not throwing daily?
Value.
Okay.
We are not getting value.
Okay, so there is a value issue. But if the plastic bag also, the milk bag also, if it's stock, there is a value. Now, what is the value we are looking? The value is the money you get for the packet, or you are also conscious that when I am throwing and spoiling the environment. That value, we are not accounting. Even order newspaper, what is the value you get? It's negligible, but still it was there in our culture. Okay, for a long time we were doing, but not for the sake of value we are doing. We are practicing, we are continuing to practice. But the milk bag, it came in between. Day one we were throwing. Nobody has told us that milk bag also could be stored. Some people are doing, but many of us are throwing. That is the kind of
one additional step.
Yes.
Part of the crop we are also contributing. If you have to wash it and dry it and store it for 30 days, because otherwise it starts smelling. That's why people throw it. But that washing step nobody wants to do at home. Any packaging. You buy Swiggy, Zomato, Sambar, Chutney packet. How many of you empty it, wash it, and store it?
I have an idea.
Nobody does.
Yes,
Very, very small percentage, no? Environmental.
They should increase.
Everything has value, including that small bark sachet or shampoo sachet. Everything has value. Yeah, so the point is we should not throw away. If you store it to a significant quantum, people are there to buy it and give you money. There are NGOs, there are waste processing who can do it. So we also have to do our bit until we find an alternative. This is the only way. We need the plastics. Sambar and chutney cannot be packed in aluminum foil, right? Aluminum foil is going to tear. Okay, so that is the point. So here there are responsibilities for everybody. Like you said, government, industry, we should think of new packaging. Government should think of facilitating all these collection system and all that. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So previous slide, I think we lost the train of thought. That is about what is government doing in this whole area. Now, recently there are lots of developments which have happened. 2022 amendment to the plastic waste management rules are there. And recently they amended the rules to streamline this whole process of extended producer responsibility. Like e-waste, we have extended producer responsibility. Right? I hope all of you know what it is. So the producer has some responsibility beyond just making the product and selling, buy back. Right? So electronics, we often find that you can give your new old phone and get a new phone, and then it goes through recycling through the producer himself. Okay? Similarly, they wanted to create a setup for plastics. So here, CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, there is a portal where all plastic manufacturers should go and register. There is a portal, same portal, all the plastic waste processors, those who are collecting waste, aggregators, recyclers, if somebody is getting oil from plastic, everybody should go and register in that portal. So the government has the data. And then there is a way of trading. Right? So if you are processing 100 tons of plastic waste generated by Unilever's products, then Unilever has to pay the plastic credits to the processor. So this managing the, just like carbon credits trading, right? So whoever is generating the plastic has the responsibility, and instead of they doing it, these plastic waste processors are doing it, and so they give the credits to them, and that is a source of income to these plastic waste processors, because they hardly get any money for collecting these, because these are like PET bottles, they have a good value, but then the others are still not priced well. So we need to support these plastic waste processors to enable them to do the job of collecting the plastic waste, processing it, and doing some value addition. Okay, so that is the new thing which has happened. It is slowly picking up momentum. Still, there are people who have not registered in it, but I think that's a step in a positive direction. And so these are the obligations of industry, since this is about the industry. So the producers, importers, PIDO, what is D? I forgot. Everybody who is responsible for the plastic coming into the system, right? So brand owners. Yeah. So different brands, there are like Palm, Colgate and all those brands. And then there are producers like ITC who's actually producing the packaging material for these brand owners, and importers. Some people also import the plastic waste from other. So next. So they all have a responsibility to register in the portal, pay the credits, what is being processed by the producers. So processors, different types of processors are existing. People who are just collecting the waste, segregating it, they are also processors. Recyclers, there are lots of other oil to plastic to oil processors. Co-processing in cement mills, that is also a big wave is happening in India. So all of them should be registered. Right? And yeah, so they are given a unique registration certificate number. And very recently in 2023, this amendment has come. they have asked all these plastic packaging companies to put this unique registration number on the plastic containers which they are packaging. So we'll be seeing that soon. Okay, so there will be a barcode already in all packaging, plus there will be this unique registration number. So each plastic packaging, including a small sachet, you can trace it to who was the manufacturer. Okay, that is actually a very good thing which is happening, because like we in our team, we were looking at how to collect these sachets. Okay, and how much money we are going to put in collecting these small sachets and non-reusable plastics, and who is going to pay for it, right? Because when you go and collect it from a household, it will be nice to pay them something, just like how you said, Arvin, it's not having that much value as newspaper. So if I'm paying something equivalent to a newspaper, people would automatically do it, right? Even if we don't want, our maids will probably get benefited from the money. So, but then how do we track it? If I'm going to collect the waste and give you money, who's going to give me money? So we wanted a mechanism to track these producers. So I think this is a big plus for people who are picking the waste, so they can get credit from the producers. And in fact, we are trying to look at having a artificial intelligence system in these. You saw those conveyor belts, right? Previous slide for waste picking, segregation, conveyor belt. Can you go to the previous slide? Yeah. So we are planning to put like a video camera. This is something in an idea which is there. Already we have created a huge database of plastic. We can identify by looking at if there are 100 packaging material going to the conveyor belt, there will be a video camera capturing. Okay. And based on the color, some writings on the paper, we try to train the model for identifying the manufacturer. Is it a Maggi packet, or is it a Colgate toothbrush, or is it a Rin packet? Okay. So far, there was a lot that the model cannot be trained as well to pinpoint, but this number will actually help us do that. Okay, so we are using artificial intelligence, vision-enabled monitoring, tracking of who is the producer. So right now in CPCB portal, it doesn't matter who the producer is. If you are processing 100 tons of plastic, these guys should be giving credits, distributed credits. But now it will enable us to actually go to the same guy who produced it. You can actually pinpoint, I am processing 100 tons of waste from Nestle every day. So Nestle should give me this. Okay? Or it can be even a small company, because all companies are going to register in the portal. So these amendments will actually enable this plastic credit system.
Yeah. Sir, we can ask the questions later. We are running out of time. So, sorry.
So, yeah, in India scenario, I think I've already told some more numbers. You can look at it. Plastic waste, co-processing, road construction, waste to energy plants, they are all very big in India. Particularly Gujarat is doing a very good job. Next. There are so many registers in the portal, so many registers of product producers, so many registers of plastic waste processors are there in CPCB. You can find the whole list. Next. And the other, what happens after the waste comes to the processing unit? It can be recycled in different, so far there are so many different methods of recycling. Mechanical, just shredding and sending it for, again, extrusion and making new product. But most of these recycling methods are downscaling. It brings the value of the plastic down. It doesn't have the same value as the original one, because of the mixed nature of the plastics which is going into the waste. If we are all segregating and there is a homogeneous waste, and again you can do a pre-segregation of different colors, then the value addition is more. So again, segregation is key from the household. Clean plastic is required, clean segregated plastic is required, then only the value of the plastic goes up and you can do better recycling. Okay, so chemical also, even whether you want to do pyrolysis, there also there is a requirement of a clean plastic. So mixing dry waste, wet waste, food, sand, soil, soil plastics, if you're going to put everything in one bin, is a huge problem. It completely takes away the recycling component. If it is soil, nobody is going to, 1,000 tons of waste going, nobody is going to wash it, dry it, and then process it. It's going to add more cost to the processor. Already they are struggling to make ends meet, and we are giving them some plastic credit. So it is our responsibility also. Okay. Next. There's a lot of calorific value from plastic. That's why these co-processing in cement mills it has picked up a lot of momentum. But again, cement plants are located far away. From Chennai, sending loads of plastic to Ariyalur in Tiruchi, again, carbon footprint, right? We can't be just one-sided. Can't be just focusing on getting rid of plastic. Carbon, how much carbon footprint every process incurs, we should also be mindful of that. Not only cost, but also the carbon footprint. So, local recycling is a better option when you look at carbon footprint. But of course, if there is a city nearby to the cement plant, they can go for the co-process. And it's been very successful in India. Okay. Pyrolysis again is an alternative to cement, burning it in the incinerators. It gives one more life to the plastic. It's just 2 lives instead of just 1 life. You just burn it. Whereas in pyrolysis, you convert it into oil. And that oil can again be used in any industrial process. Okay, there are as a fuel oil. So there is one technology coming out of our group called diesel, zero emission plastic pyrolyzer, where we make sure that there is no emission from this system, no harmful emissions from the system. Okay. This is some data on to show that pyrolysis oil is as good as diesel. You can see, I don't have a pointer here. The calorific value is comparable, and there is 0 sulfur in pyrolysis oil because plastic doesn't have sulfur, whereas fossil fuels have sulfur. So it's a little more, having a little more advantage from the environment point of view for the pyrolysis oil. Okay. I just want to show some best practices, DAPs across the world. Recycling is one option, but people working in the environmental sector knows that that is not the only option and that is not the best option, right? There are 3 R's in refill. Talk about waste management. What are the 3 R's?
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. Now they have added a few more R's to that R's, right?
So came up with 16.
16, okay. I should find out. I know up to 7 or 9. I'll find out. Okay.
And one of them was respect.
Respect, very good.
Respect plastic.
Yes. So
Respect and responsible.
Responsible. So many R's, you have heard it just now. Okay, so reuse is better than recycle. Refuse, as I said, reduce is better than reuse, and refuse is even better. So refuse, say no to plastic if you don't need it, right? There are stores in Chennai, I don't know how many of you know called, where you can go and get packaging free groceries. How do you buy groceries which are packaging free? Yeah, take your own little pouches, right? There are the surkupai, I don't know Tamil. So have a lot of surkupai in your house. Go collect. I have pictures of that.
So before that, rethink. Sanitize raised the issue. All of us know the issue. Now, the option is milk is to be supplied. Currently, earlier we were not having plastic pipe. Before plastic pipe, how we were getting milk? No, we was with the bottle, collect the milk and come. That was one stage. From that, we put the stage. How do we get rid of this? That is free thinking. Come with the innovative idea. Like it can close.
Yeah. So if all of us refuse, then industry also will start thinking, right? So refuse, they don't take plastics home. Make sure that you get your own containers. So that is one way of showing that you are environmentally conscious. Because once you bring to your home, it becomes your responsibility. Okay, it's like there's a game, right? You pass the ball, sit in a circle and pass the ball, right? And the music stops and whoever gets the ball is in trouble, right? Same thing. Okay, don't take the ball, or if you get the ball, Don't just dump it. Just avoid the ball in the case of plastic, okay, if possible. So there are ways, we as customers, this is what we can do. Responsibly select the products what you buy, and then make sure, if at all you have to buy, make sure you buy a product which is reusable. Keep on using it. Buy high quality products. Okay, even phones. It's okay if you get a loan and get a good phone which can last for 5 to 6 years rather than buying cheap phones. Bags, girls, we are a big contributor because we have a lot of accessories, right? Cosmetics, bags, everything. Okay, to match our dress, our own dresses. We don't, nowadays the fast fashion culture is there and most of it are plastics, right? Polymers are nothing but synthetic dress material is basically coming from plastics. Okay, and that's a huge problem. Microplastics, I talked about it. The biggest microplastic load is coming only from clothes. The fibers, every time we have measured it, every laundry load, millions of microfibers are released. Okay, we don't see it, but it is there. Okay, so go for handloom. You're going to help livelihoods, cotton based. That's even much better. Or go for high quality polymeric materials, okay, which can be used till your lifetime. Oh, these things last forever. Even water doesn't last. Okay, so use multiple times. That is the basic thing. As much as possible, keep it cycling and don't dispose it. Okay. A lot of good practices are there. I'm going to the industry now. We talked only about consumers. Industry has also can do a lot. And certain industries are making big steps in plastic management. Marks and Spencers, you know this shop. So using multiple materials becomes very difficult for plastic recycling. So the manufacturers should rethink, redesign their products, not just for addressing a specific need of their customers, right? They should rethink or redesign the product, thinking about end of the life of the product. Okay? Is this recyclable? I'm making a material to suit certain group of population, but what is happening to the same material at the end of the life? So mixed materials, like even your chips packet, multi-layered plastics, right? There is aluminum, there is plastics, then there is dye, the print, okay, Tetra packs. They have cardboard also in it. So more and more layers to suit some functionality adds a problem at the end of the life. Recycling these are very, very difficult. Okay, or the value add is not there. If it is monomers, then it is easy to recycle. The value is also more. That's why milk sachets have actually good value than the other plastics. Because it is just one, it's a LDPE, good quality plastic, high value of recycle. So Marks and Spencers, earlier they had packaging material with 11 polymers. Okay, and consciously they have cut down on the number of polymers. Now it is 4 and I think 23, I'm not sure whether they attained it in 22. They wanted to bring it to 1 polymer. Okay, so thinking about recycling. Okay, so we can innovate and do that. Unilever, they have come up with a new technology where they can, even the sachets, small sachets can be reused to create plastic pellets, which can again go and make the same sachet. Right, that is the best form of recycling is going back to the same product and not downcycling it or going to a lower value of plastic. Okay, so they have pledged to make 100% of their plastics recyclable, reusable, or compostable by 2020. Okay, and also reduce the weight of the plastic, so the plastic content gets reduced. Right? So, a lot of examples I can cite. I don't know how much time I have. How much more time?
We are already short.
Already short of time. Okay, I will skip. Lot of them are coming up. Cosmetic industries. I think the pictures will be better. Next, I have some pictures. There are pacts across the world. A lot of countries are coming together. A lot of companies are coming together. Plastic Pact has been formed from 350 companies, and they have pledged that all their best practices will be shared. Okay, all this patenting and all that, they're trying to relax and they have pledged to share to make it better for all of us. Okay? India is also one of those plastic in the plastic pact. Then there is a global economy. Next. Yeah. Global plastic commitment, where again they have said 500 different organizations and countries have come together, and Ellen MacArthur Foundation is leading this effort along with UNEP, and they have a common vision for circular economy of plastics. Okay? Yeah. So according to them, so these are the 500 different organizations which have come together, and they are documenting every little change with all these 500 companies. They are reporting every change they are making. They are reporting to this global organization, and the statistics are being done on how much, what are the targets, how much percentage, like 35.9 virgin plastic is a raw material for the plastic, has been replaced with reused plastic. Okay, that has been reported. And how much of post-consumer, this pre-consumer in their package, post-consumer, after the consumer throws out, they try to track where their plastic is going, how much of that post-consumer plastic is being recycled. So 51% is recycled from this group's plastic. Okay, and how much of reusable, recyclable, compostable packaging they are including in their products. That is also documented. Okay, so every little change is documented and it's a repository of information you can look at. Okay, next. And when it comes to refuse and reuse, I told you are the topmost as a consumer. So the businesses, the industries should enable this for the consumer. Okay, unless they make products, like if you look at home, if you're going to buy a shampoo bottle, once it is used, you throw it away, right? Or you send it for recycling. But instead, if you take that bottle and there is a refill center in your neighborhood, you go and refill whatever shampoo you want, whether you use Dove or whatever. Everything should have a refill station in your grocery store. Okay, why can't they provide refill stations? So the industry has to facilitate it. As a consumer, you don't want to create a plastic waste from your shampoo. Same thing is applicable to any product. So industry should rethink the way they do businesses. They not just packaging it, but can they think of these refill stations? Okay. And now a lot of examples have started. You can even send, there is a door delivery. The Big Basket is doing really well. The Big Basket doesn't give plastic bags, right? They put it in a plastic carton, okay, a thick carton which is reusable even 100 or 1,000 times. Heavy carts they bring, cartons they bring, and they keep your product and take it back. I don't know how many of you have ordered from Big Basket. They've been doing it from the beginning, COVID times. Okay, so next. So a lot of startups have come up. There are 69 examples listed in OECD report. So 69 good examples from industry side, what they are doing. So this is something I want to leave to the industries. They can go and emulate these type of good practices even in India. Almost all of these are from abroad. They are startups which are linking with the industries who are making the products and giving a customized solution for the plastic to the customers. Okay, so some examples are a vending machine, like I said, in a store that can be a vending machine for your whatever product you're buying. This is a home delivery. Loop is a home delivery. Reusable containers they have for home delivery of anything. This is a grocery shopping. Next one. Next. Yeah. So consumer products can be rethought. Okay, instead of having a liquid shampoo, can shampoos come as powders and you just mix it. You use the water in your tap, mix that powder. So the whole bottle is reduced to a simple sachet. Okay, you take a half a liter water in your whole shampoo container, pour this, mix it up, it comes back to the same consistency as a shampoo. There should not be any difference in the quality, then people will not accept it. Okay, so entire plastic is gone. For the business, it is much profitable because look at all the transportation costs. They are paying for half a liter of water. It's just water and all the compounds are there only in a sachet. So it is a win-win for both the environment and the industry. Huge reductions in carbon footprint for the transportation and the packaging. Okay, can happen if Godrej has done it. I don't know how many of you know. I was surprised to see Godrej a sachet for the body wash. It's available in our markets. Okay, I just bought a sachet and for the first time they give you a container where you can convert it, pour it water and make it a body wash. Yeah, sorry. So next, yeah, these are all some, you can share it with others. Next. For Dabbawala of Mumbai, they picked up, a startup in London has picked up our Dabbawala concept. Previous slide, I just wanted to show that. So Dabbawala in Mumbai is very common. Now a startup in London is doing it. Right? Can you believe it? All Swiggy, Zomato orders are going in these Dabbawalas. The name is also called Dabba Drop startup. Right? So they picked our idea, but we didn't follow it. I don't think in Mumbai they still have it. Everybody wants Swiggy with plastic bags. Okay, so next. Plus, even packaging, what your covers which come in courier can be sent back and you get some points redeemed for the next. All are startups from other countries. These are all ideas. We have a huge market in India. Or if any of you want to have a startup with any of these ideas, you will be more profitable than these foreign companies because India is a huge market. So next, edible packaging, all these things. I'll go to the last slide. Shampoo comes as bars. Many organic stores you will find the bars. You don't need shampoo bottles. Okay, so last but before this one slide. So industry, what they have to do. That's 3 slides. Previous one. Yeah. Summarize, industries have to rethink and redesign, keeping end of the life recycling in mind along with their customers. And there are very, very simple, low-hanging fruits they can do. Refundable buyback policy for sachets and bottles. In US, nobody throws the bottles in the bin because there is a 25 cents you get back when you are putting it in the refill bin, right? Just for 25 cents, people will go and put it in that box. It's not more conscious, but also money plays an important role. So why can't industries packaging, even sachets, small shampoo sachets, if there is a 50 paisa markup on the price, everybody will save it, right? In India, I think people more for the value and also for the money, people will do it. It's a double benefit for us. So why can't packaging industries add the cost for disposing the sachet? Simple thing. But see, none of our bottles have this refund deposit on it. Okay, so if every packaging, starting from sachets to bottles, have a refund on it, everybody will take it to the recycling. Okay, that's a very simple thing. All this I've already said, shifting from liquids, avoid unnecessary packaging. Okay, and there are lots of innovations are also required. Alternatives to plastic packaging, we need innovations. Okay, and in IIT, we have a competition for students who have these innovative ideas. Next slide. And we give fund up to 5 lakhs. So Kurian is also one of the judges for our solid waste panel. So up to 5 lakhs to build your ideas into prototypes. It's available. Carbon Zero Challenge and ideas to impact the competitions for circularity in particular. Circularity in resources. Next. Yes, final concluding slide. It's not just the industry's responsibility, it is there is a lot of policy changes which needs to happen from the government, regulations should be implemented. And as customers, we already discussed that, we also have our own responsibility. But the first step the industry should take. Okay, I'm sure the government will support it with policy because everybody wants to meet that target. Okay, we are part of the plastic pact, global pact. So industry should take the first lead, and customers, if they are incentivized, they will definitely do all kinds of recycling or segregation. Thank you.